This is ACC Nation, your source for ACC sports coverage. Connect with us at accnation.net. Listen to our podcast and streaming radio. Watch us on YouTube and follow us on your favorite social media outlet. Now, here's Will and Jim.
This is ACC Nation. That's Will, and I'm Jim. It's time to take a look at picks. It's Labor Day weekend. It's an extravaganza for ACC football. Let's take a look at what happened in week 0. Stanford traveled to Hawaii, should have won, but can we or dare we say they blew it there at the very end? A guy that literally learned how to kick field goals by watching YouTube videos, got the score at the end for Hawaii, 23-20. Crazy.
Yeah. If you've been listening to our previews, the last couple, and you've heard Jim make reference to the TikTok dance. That was one of the boneheaded moments of the game where you gotta know the situation. Yeah, I know you're excited to make a big play, but don't turn it into the opening scene in basketball where the entire team is doing a weird dance or whatever. That's going to be a penalty.
Yes.
Don't, yeah. Like the other thing for me is when Hawaii's quarterback injured his ankle.
Oh,
If you're a good coach, you test him.
yes.
Blitz. Reich did none of that.
Nothing.
Basically just sat back, twiddled his thumbs, going do 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 do, just letting Hawaii methodically drive down the field, getting 5-6 yards a pop, got themselves in field goal range for, as Jim mentioned, the game-winning field goal. And now, and Hawaii was favored, but from the way that game played out, yeah, Hawaii was the better team. Just by the way, Cole Branson looked lost out there at quarterback. If he's the best Stanford's got,
Ooh, gonna be a long season.
good luck winning one game this year.
Long season. Would you be a person to recommend that Andrew Luck may want to rethink how things are going? Even at this point.
He's kicking the can down the road to next season at this point. So there's nothing to really glean off of this in the long term. You're just, like I said, you've got 11 more games with Frank Reich, and then you get a new coach in, and we'll see.
I hope.
I have my skepticisms about Stanford's viability in the current landscape, but maybe Andrew Luck finds the right coach for Stanford, and they get back to their winning ways again. We'll worry about that in 4 months.
Yeah. Okay. Week 1. It kicks off this week. As a matter of fact, as we're recording this on a Wednesday night, it all starts on Thursday, the 28th, East Carolina at NC State, 7 p.m., ACC Network. This is a game that is a rematch of a bowl upset, as far as I'm concerned. East Carolina upsetting NC State last season. Is that going to come into play, Will?
Yeah, the lasting image of ECU NC State is the big fight that happened at the end of that game last season, and ECU basically just punking them. I would not be surprised if ECU is in this game the whole way. Like it's the first game for it's the new offense, a new defense. Yeah, I like the pieces State has on offense. But can they mesh with the new offensive coordinator? We'll see. I think the offense will be better this year. I just worry a little bit about the defense. So if we're talking next week and we find out NC State wins by like a touchdown, wouldn't surprise me. I think that's where it's going to be. It's going to be a one-score game. I think State's going to pull it out.
All right, I'm going with NC State. It's a home game for the Pack. I think CJ Bailey is going to step up to the plate and really start delivering. I think that it'll be a rough first quarter, quarter and a half. But after that, I think things start rolling. We'll see. Elon at Duke, 7:30 p.m. That is streaming on ACC NX. If you want to watch it there, or just go on out to the game because it's going to be a nice night weather-wise. Elon and Duke, who you got there?
The only question I have in this game is how long is Mensah going to play? Um, will he start the second half? That's a big question. If he's playing into the fourth quarter, then there's problems. That means Elon is in it. Duke should handle them very easily. Um, I don't, the talent level is just too big.
Yeah, good point. My gut tells me that it's going to take first half of first games should always be a little messy unless you've been really grinding it out over the summer. I'm saying that by half into the third quarter, Duke is starting to run away with this game. So it's a win for Duke in this one in their opener. Next up, it's Friday Night Lights on the 29th. Kennesaw State is at Wake Forest. Wake Forest has got all kinds of new stuff going on there. We talked with Cam Lemons to Bro about that, and you can catch him on the ACC Nation podcast, either on the podcast, on YouTube, or streaming radio, and listen to that interview because it's very interesting to hear the changes that have been implemented with a new coach at Wake Forest. And 7 o'clock, ACC Network, Friday night, Kennesaw State, Wake Forest. What do you think?
I wonder, just because of the newness of everything surrounding Wake Forest with the new coach Dickert, the new offense, new defense, if Kennesaw State is in this game a little more than people expect. I don't know if Kennesaw State's any good. I'm not going to lie and sit here and say they are or they aren't. I don't know, but I'm just going off of feels in this game. I would not be surprised if Kennesaw State is in this, but I'm still going to pick Wake to win.
Yeah. Okay. Wake Forest, I think quarter and a half max. And that's where this team takes off. And everything that's been implemented, new look offense, etc., is really going to click. And Kennesaw State, I just do not believe has enough depth, experience, and the difference in the quality of players is like day and night. So 7 p.m. ACC Network, don't miss it. Here's a real exciting game that I think a lot of people are really looking forward to watching. On Friday night, Georgia Tech at Colorado. I've been waiting for this game since I heard that it was going to be played. I'm just like anxious to watch it. 8 o'clock, ESPN. Should be fun. Who you taking in this one?
I do like the Yellow Jackets to win this game on the road, and I'm looking at it from this standpoint. Colorado lost, Cedar Sanders. They lost a Heisman Trophy winner in Travis Hunter. They're going with what I would assume to be more of a run-based attack with Caden Salter, quarterback, the former Liberty quarterback. And I just don't think you can expect them to be ready like that. Um, Georgia Tech is ready already. I mean, they've gone through this. All the key cogs are back.
Yeah.
Even with Singleton gone and new receivers stepped in, I'm not worried about them. I would not be surprised if Georgia Tech wins comfortably, quite frankly.
I'm going with Georgia Tech and probably by 2 touchdowns in this. And I know a lot of people are going to be shaking their head and going, "No, you're out of your mind. It's Colorado, blah, 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 blah." Heard it all before. It doesn't make any difference. Look at, as Will is pointing out, look at the personnel on Georgia Tech. Look what's come back. We're talking about a smooth, for the most part, transition from one year into the next, and anybody that they have brought on has basically been a plug and play. So this team is ready. I think they're hungry. And again, I believe this is a top tier ACC team, and I think it's going to be proven out this season. Now, on Saturday, a lot of games, a lot of interesting games. We'll start out with the Aflac kickoff game. This is one of two, by the way, in Atlanta. Syracuse takes on number 24, Tennessee. That's a nooner on ABC. I initially thought to myself, well, this might be kind of ugly. I'm rethinking.
Like the thing with me is I don't really know what to expect with Tennessee's offense. Now that Nico is gone and he's at UCLA, they have Joey Aguilar at quarterback. I don't know if, I mean, quite frankly, I don't know how well he's going to mesh with this offense. I still think Tennessee's the more talented team, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if Syracuse puts up a fight in this game. And I think I probably would take Tennessee by like 2 scores in this game. I think it's something where a game where Syracuse isn't totally blown out, but kind of keeps themselves competitive. I think that's the way I'd look at it.
Yeah. I'm going with a grind out for at least 3 quarters. Um, if if there's any slight dent in the armor of Syracuse, Tennessee will take advantage of it. Um, I think it could be a very close game. I'm going to go with Tennessee winning this game, but by the hair of their chinny chin chins.
Not my chinny chin chins.
Not yours. No, probably closer to mine.
Closer to yours than
Yeah.
mine.
All right, next game up is Duquesne at Pitt. That's a nooner as well. That's going to be on the ACC network. I don't think there's much really to talk about here, but hey, let's talk about it anyway.
Desiree, enough said.
All
Next.
right, next. All right, so we're going with Pitt on that game. Next is Fordham at Boston College, a 2 o'clock game. That's streaming on the ACC network. I think, again, this is, I hate to downplay teams, but in this particular instance, Fordham, Boston College, no, I don't see it. So I'm going
The only,
Boston College. So
the only thing I want to see out of this game is how's Dylan Lonergan play with this offense. He's
yeah,
got the backfield at back and he's got some veteran receivers out. It's just a matter of how much has he already meshed with them. I don't, I
yeah.
don't, I don't think, I don't think, I don't think they're going to get a ton of resistance though.
You know, the thing I like about Boston College is Bill O'Brien is an angry old man yelling at the clouds. He has been getting on the fans, the students to show up for games no matter what. Take a couple hours out. Get out there. Support your team. I feel better. I agree with you, Bill, by the way. Um, it should be out there. It's a beautiful day. Fun thing to do with your friends. You know, get some food, get some drink, and watch some football. Can't beat it. All right, next game up, Eastern Kentucky at Louisville. This is at 3 o'clock. That's going to be on the ACC network. Are we just lollygagging through a couple of games here?
Miller Moss will end up on the bench because Louisville's going to be up by so much.
All right, I agree. All right. Moving on. This is a game that intrigues the crap out of everybody for a variety of reasons because we don't really know what the heck Florida State's got. Now, we talked with Kurt Weiler when we were previewing Florida State, and he gave me the impression, and Kurt's not somebody to blow smoke up your kilt. Uh, he just gave me the impression that maybe Mike Norvell sort of found some footing here. So, and I think that Alabama at number 8 is overranked. To be honest with you, I just don't think Alabama is there. And of course, that's looking at last year. And I know that's a bad thing to do because looking back at last year means absolutely nothing with NIL and transfer portal. So number 8, Alabama at Florida State, 3:30 ABC. So everybody in the world can watch this game. What do you think, Will?
I can see multiple outcomes with this game. I could see Alabama blowing Florida State out in the FSU Twitter or whatever version of Florida State social media will
Mhm.
just be out in the with the pitchforks calling for Mike Norvell's job. But I could also see a scenario where everything clicks a little bit and they're in this game. I think in the end, I don't think FSU has the firepower to compete with Bama. It's just a matter of how close can they be.
Right. And as has been pointed out to us, those oh gee whiz, we kept it in there, we were close. Those sort of scenarios don't go over too well with some fan bases, and I think this is one of these fan bases that have even if there's a good showing, they don't care. They lost the game. I think Alabama wins this game, but I think it will be competitive. It is in Tallahassee. Show up, support your team, you know, and if you don't complain if you look bad on TV, on national TV. So Coastal Carolina at Virginia, that's a 6 o'clock game. That's on the ACC network. Coastal is has sort of, it has its moments. Virginia does too, but
When these two teams met last year, Virginia ran for 384 yards. And that was at their place.
that was a moment.
Now, yeah, and I think Virginia's running back room is a lot better
Hmm.
than it was last year. Um, I I think Virginia wins comfortably in this game, even with the injuries. I'm just curious, like the only thing that I'm really interested to see is how Chandler Morris plays with this offense. I have been very vocal about this offense on this podcast, on Twitter, of my disgust for this offense because it's been so bad. But I don't think it's going to matter here much. I think Virginia wins comfortably, like by 3 scores, and we're not worrying too much.
Okay. I know that there's some injuries that we should be concerned about there for the Cavs, and we'll see how that comes into play. But again, I think you're spot on. Virginia should take that game without any problem.
Yeah. I'm more
This,
worried about those injuries next week.
yeah, yeah. When it starts to matter more, another powerhouse game um, on the menu here. Number 9 LSU at number 4 Clemson. Death Valley versus Death Valley, 7:30. That is ABC. That game actually, I was reading someplace. Yeah, they're telling everybody it's 7:30, but it don't kick off until 7:52. Gonna be a lot of talking. Well, of course, it's like that every game. Who are you kidding? I mean, I I, I don't see how LSU is ranked that high. I really don't. And quite frankly, Clemson is definitely a top 5 team. I would not be shocked if they were in the national championship this season.
Boy, I'm sitting there listening to you when you were doing that 7:52 kickoff voice. I'm like, wow, you really have spent a lot of time in New Orleans.
I've spent a lot of time in the South, my friend.
Yep. Well, you live there.
That's right. It rubs off
Oh,
after.
don't you know? Kickoff will be 7:52.
Oh, there you
We're
go.
gonna go to Sweden all days for some lutefisk.
You can
Uh,
keep the
but
lutefisk.
as far as this game goes, as we try to steer ourselves back on track, I think this is the second biggest game of the week behind Texas Ohio State.
Eh,
Uh, this is Yeah, LSU obviously returns a lot, but there's some injury concern with Garrett Nussmeier.
Hmm.
How will that affect them? Clemson at home is really hard to beat.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, this is probably their best. I would argue this is the best offense they've had since Trevor Lawrence. So it's probably been close to a decade.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Clemson in a pretty well played game.
I'm going with Clemson, and I'm going with a couple of touchdowns on this. I think that once Clemson clicks, uh, Clemson always comes out a little slow for me. I, they always start out slow, and I don't know what that's about, but I think that after we get past that first half, that the beast is unleashed, and they send the Tigers, those other Tigers, back to Baton Rouge with the Tigers' tail between their legs.
Oh,
Uh-huh. All right. So, God, I'm going to get killed by my family. I got three sister-in-laws, all went to LSU. Um, East Texas A&M at number 16 SMU. That's a 9 o'clock game on the ACC network. I don't think there's too much of a conversation piece here, to be honest with you.
next.
Okay. California at Oregon State, 10:30. That's on ESPN. I guess we're staying up late that night. We always do.
This is an intriguing game. I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
Former Pac-12 rivals, a lot of new at Cal, new quarterback, a whole new running back room. Um, I really have no idea what to expect from Cal in this game. Oregon, y'all remember Malik Murphy? He's their quarterback now. I don't know how good he is, quite frankly. I don't know if some of the success of Duke last year was in spite of him. I know they had a really good defense, but I think I'm going to take Cal in a close one.
Yeah. Cal, close. And I mean, hair of your chinny chin chin. Uh, for gosh sakes, Cal, if you blow this one, Stanford is not going to let you live it down because you guys have been riding the crap out of the Cardinal fans. Um, yeah, it's all that good fun stuff. All right, Sunday. Yeah, we got Sunday football. College, yes, sir. Here's our
Sunday
second.
matinee, baby.
Yeah, Aflac kickoff game in Atlanta. Another one? Yes, because they pay the big bucks. Uh, this game, there's two games on this day that are just intriguing as hell. Virginia Tech takes on number 13 South Carolina. That's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on ESPN. What you think?
Um, I think I think what stands out to me in this game is knowing South Carolina has a dark horse Heisman Trophy quarterback contender in Lenore Sellers, but the rest of that offense is a great unknown. People have been hyping up Nick Harbor, who's just super athletic freak, but he's not done much of anything in his college career at this point. This is good. He's going to have to break out if he wants to play on Sundays, and maybe he's going to get drafted anyway because he's an athlete. Doesn't mean he can play football, but that's beside the point. Now, what are the Hokies? That's my question.
Everybody's
Like,
been asking that for years, man. What are the Hokies? Oh, you're asking something else there. Okay.
yeah, like what are they? Knowing this is a big year for that program, the fact that the expectations aren't that high outside of Blacksburg with them, maybe making a bowl, but again, Kyra Jones is probably going to have to do a lot for that offense, and he has had a tendency to get nicked up. I I don't I just don't feel like the firepower is there. I'm going to take South Carolina. I'm not really sure by how much because I have concerns on their side too. I just feel like South Carolina is the more talented team. So maybe like 10 to 14 points.
So, how in the world did South Carolina get ranked 13th? I mean,
Because they're in the
seriously.
SEC.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, you folks voting for that, well, you're out of your mind. This team is not 13th ranked. Now, I would put them, close to 24 through 3, somewhere in there. Let them work their way up, but they're not at 13. Come on, man. You know, this is a game that if Virginia Tech pulls the rabbit out of wherever they pull rabbits these days, um, gerbils, I don't know. So whatever they do, if they win that game, wow. I mean, it is possible. It is possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, folks, so don't get overly excited. I think Virginia Tech, I think they can keep it within a touchdown. And if they do that, um, that's as good as a win in my book. If you're playing in that venue against a 13th ranked team and they can only beat you by a touchdown, well, number one, I was right about South Carolina not being too highly ranked, and the other side is that you were right about Virginia Tech really not, we don't know what they got. Is it going to gel? Is it going to, crank it up and deliver? Who knows? We'll see. I'm going to go with South Carolina in this game, but it's going to be close, real close. All right, next game. We can't use the old moniker with this, can we? It's not, what's the
No, not the same anymore.
it's just not, yeah.
At least on the Miami side.
Yeah. And I think everybody who's a fan of either side understands where we're going with that. I don't think we need to spell it out. Number 6, Notre Dame at number 10, Miami. I think both these teams are appropriately ranked. We'll see. 7:30 ABC. That's going to be a good game. Notre Dame had I would just say Notre Dame needs to watch themselves, man. They're playing on Miami's home turf, and they better come ready to play because Miami, I think, can taste a win here.
I wish I had a coin next to me because that's how I feel about this game. I think this is the ultimate coin flip game. I can make a case for both sides winning. Um, I think I like both teams have really good ground games. I mean, Jeremiah Love is regarded as one of the best backs in the country. We know the run game is Mario Cristobal's bread and butter. But the quarterbacks are the question on both sides. CJ Carr is really inexperienced. Don't know what to say about him. But on the other side, Carson Beck is how has he looked off of the injuries? They don't. There's been a lot of questions about Miami's receivers. Are they going to be up to the task? I know Miami has a new defensive coordinator trying to fix the defense. It's game one, so it's hard to tell. I don't know. I guess if you made me choose, I'm going to take Notre Dame, but it's like a 50.1 to 49.9% thing.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Miami on this one. And I just think that home field advantage, um, some pent up frustration and revenge. Um, and I think maybe it's going to come together. We always say every year, show me, show me, show me. Well, I think Miami's going to show us. And who better to beat than Notre Dame in your opener like that? That's a huge game. I mean, that thing has implications uh, across just miles and miles across college football playoff scenario. And it should be fun to watch. Monday, September 1st, that's right, we've got Monday Night Football. It's
Da, 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 da.
the Labor Day extravaganza in the ACC concludes with TCU at North Carolina. It's 8 o'clock. It's going to be on ESPN. And we absolutely have no idea about either team because, as anybody who's been watching and listening to any of the previews of ACC teams this season, there's been so much activity with the NIL and transfer portal. Nobody knows. We got new coaches, we got new schemes. Nobody knows. We've got closed practices. Nobody knows. And if I keep saying that, I'm going to start sounding like one of those commercials where they hawk TVs. So, TCU or North Carolina?
Or I would thought you were gonna say you were gonna start sounding like Toucan Sam when he says it. Instead of Farmer News, it's nobody knows.
Oh my God.
Like,
You are old, aren't you? All right.
I'm not. I don't consider myself old.
No, no, no. But all these guys who played, who now have kids, and
Yep. As we talked about with Cam on the Wake Forest preview, yes, all
that's right.
the sons of. But
Big
we talked
grandkids
about
all along.
this we brought this up with Cam, and we brought this up. Another thing, I don't think there's a bigger disparity between ceiling and floor with a team than North Carolina.
Wow. Yes.
If it works out, they could be very good, but it could also fall flat on their face and it could be a disaster.
Hmm.
My feeling about North Carolina is skepticism
Yeah.
about the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm of the belief that the last few years of Bill Belichick showed he's just done. And he's already got all these off-field distractions with this patent for Gold Digger that he and Jordan, are, applied for. Now it's starting to make me think of Ricky Vaughn in Major League Two when he just completely sold out
Mm-hmm.
and just was crap for the duration of that movie. Um, I just think Tom Brady made him a lot better than he really is, quite frankly. And I'm gonna I feel like I'm dumping on UNC, and I guess to an extent I am. I've never been sold on Belichick on this Belichick hire, I guess you could say. So
Oh
give me
yeah.
TCU in this game, but I'm not picking a blowout. I think they win by like 10 points or so.
Okay.
I
Uh,
also just don't think UNC's that talented right now.
yeah. That's the question that I have. I just don't. I don't have a good grasp of that. I really don't.
Right.
And nobody else does either. So anybody who tells you that, oh yeah, this team's going to do this, or my team is bull, you don't know. Nobody knows.
And if UNC wins, we're gonna make overarching, over analytical opinions about UNC that Belichick is going to take them to the
Ooh,
ACC championship game.
no,
And
ain't happening. Sorry.
we aren't, but
Yeah.
the national people are.
Oh yeah. It'll become the thing. People. We all go overboard on stuff, unfortunately. Uh,
You know why? Clicks.
yeah, it's all about that. Getting you folks to click on our websites and listen to our podcasts and all the other stuff because it generates revenue. Um, which that's business, and as long as you know that and you're participating, don't complain. Um, I I'm thinking TCU is 3 to 5 points. That's about all I can give them. I think that just because it's at home, for the folks there at Chapel Hill, uh, probably going to be a good turnout just to come out and see Bill and company and support them. And hopefully, if he delivers, if he and his crew deliver a good, solid game, and they win, of course, you can expect all the dribble that Will was just referring to, but maybe it'll generate some excitement for football at UNC, and I don't think that's ever a bad thing. We have a good friend who is a huge Tar Heel fan, who absolutely, positively hates anything to do with football in regard to the Tar Heels. It should always be a basketball school. Well, maybe not always. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, coming up after all of this stuff for Labor Day, Will and I are going to put our noggins together. And gosh, when that happens, it's just some strange things occur. And we're going to come up with our week one power poll. And we're going to rank all of the teams in the ACC based upon their performances. And then, of course, you'll be seeing that on a weekly basis, and you'll get our thoughts on the games during the week, just like this, and scores and whatnot. We'll be talking a lot more football with people. So keep it right here on ACC Nation, and hope you'll join us on our podcast. Make sure that you listen, like, subscribe to the podcast, to streaming radio, and to YouTube. Drop a line there on YouTube on any of those previews or this or any of the other shows that we drop down there. Like to hear from you. We don't always get an opportunity to respond to you, but sometimes we do. And the same thing on Reddit. So thank you. We appreciate you listening. Enjoy football. It's here.
ACC Nation, your source for ACC sports coverage with Will and Jim. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on our podcast, streaming radio, and YouTube. Connect with us on Blue Sky, Reddit, Instagram, Threads, Mastodon, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn.